Welcome to Nurtured Nerds Epic Podcast. Come join us.
Get gaming, get nerdy, and get nurtured together. We did not rehearse that, you guys. We probably should have. Huh? Oh well. That's all right. It's all good. We're all here to get gaming, to get nerdy and get nurtured. Right, Crystal?
Definitely, always.
Cool. So, I'm Mary, and I'm in Salt Lake, and I am a professional cuddler, and I'm a professional cuddle party facilitator, and I've been doing this about 6 or 7 years, and it's so much fun. And I've been working with Nurtured Nerds for about a year, and doing the podcast. It's been great. I love talking about this stuff, and I'm doing great. How are you doing, Crystal?
I am amazing. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm Crystal. I'm located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Been cuddling for over 3 years. Been part of Nurtured Nerds for, I'd say, over a year now as well. And I'm like super happy to be here. Super
fun. So cool. So on today's episode, we thought we'd talk about dancing and music and movement, and how does that nurture us, and what can we do to just get moving and get not so worried about being nerdy about it. Movement can really help. It's part of a connection with your own self and with other people, right? It's another way to do it.
Definitely.
So yeah, we're excited about that. We'll tell you all the things that are going on and some cuddly things. But first we want to talk to our panel, because we have a juicy panel today to help us talk about movement. So what I'd like to do is just ask each person on our panel to introduce yourself, and if you're drinking something cool, tell us about it. I'm just drinking water today, but I got this cool new water bottle that I love. Anyway.
Very cool.
Yeah. Sam, would you like to go first? Introduce yourself. And
yeah, sure. So my name is Sam Varneren. I am out in Boston. My pronouns are she, her. I run my personal private practice, Snuggle with Sam, here, and I've been doing that for 6 years. I've been doing online course creation for professional cuddlers for 5 years. Oh my gosh, I've really been doing it that long. And I mostly feel qualified to talk about movement and dance because I did a dance sport competition for about, I think, 9 years before I actually stopped because I wanted to take my practice full time. So yeah, I feel like I know a lot about dance and have experienced various types of dance through that and through casual social dance and partner dancing in the Boston area. So they're pretty good communities here too.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Are you drinking anything fun you want to share with us?
Oh, it's really embarrassing. I had 2 teas that I was running out of, and I had just enough that it wasn't really enough for a full pot of tea. So I just combined both of them. One was a mocha peppermint from, I think it's Tivana, and the other one is a cherry blossom white tea from David's Teas. But combined, it actually tastes pretty good.
I was gonna say they probably would be good mixed together. Yeah,
those are unique flavors. I love it.
I'm very confused with what I'm drinking right now.
I like to do 2 teas at once sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Cheri.
Hello. I'm super excited to hear more about what you're doing, Sam. This is ooh. So my name is Cheri Anderson, and I'm in Portland, Oregon. She, her. I'm a certified cuddlist. Got going right before the pandemic, and then Blammo. I have the Touch Tonic and getting started up again, and actually started going to group cuddles back in 2002. Love Tribe here in Portland, Oregon, started really long ago, which is crazy. So so I also do groups as well. And in terms of dance and movement, I started ballet when I was 7 and started teaching when I was 11, and have done every modern jazz, all the social, but ended up at the opposite end of the spectrum, 5 rhythms and ecstatic dance. And started a community in Phoenix when I was there for a couple of years. So yeah, it's amazingly healing, powerful movement. So that's me.
Very cool. And we have a third panelist today, Grace. would you introduce yourself?
I'm a panelist. Wow, I get to be a panelist.
Yes.
Whoa. Well, you guys, I don't know anything about your cuddling thing. I think I've been to one with Faye. And I like the idea of the cherry blossom white tea. I really liked how that sounded. 5 rhythms, classical ballet for me, and 5 rhythms. And just the beauty of the silence and the movement and the music and the closeness of people, but not a big fan of puppy puddles. So not quite sure about your group here, but I'm enjoying it so far. Oh, and also I'm going to put, I'm just going to put this European dancing. I added it to the chat, and it's a beautiful, I don't know, you guys probably have seen it. It's all over Europe now. It's like a group of people dancing to, the tyranny and the slide of what's going on in the world. But it's just this lovely, lovely music to free dancing, and just these people really trying to make a comment, a loving comment on where we're going and what's happening in our world. And it's a great dance. It's a great song to dance to. I was thinking maybe we could all dance to it tonight before I have to leave.
That'd be cool.
Yes, please.
Play it. It'd be good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So ladies, what does dance and what does music mean to you? Can you maybe just elaborate a little bit on what it's done for you in your life, how it's helped you in any way, whether it's a form of escape, self-care, and of course, who would like to start? Not everybody at once. I love it.
Sounds like not me. That's the not me sign, right? How about Cheri? Would you like to share?
Sure. So I think, the bottom line for movement and dance for me has been self-expression, and really going from the cookie cutter beginnings of ballet, where everybody, the core, you want to look identical, to all the way over to authentic movement, where it has absolutely nothing to do with looking any certain way. And so when people would come to my dances, and I'm not a dancer, it's all about movement. We're all dancing and having that freedom to express whatever is alive in the moment. And I love watching little kids just out on the street, because they'll be walking and then all of a sudden they'll go, they're so spontaneous before they've learned that you can't just move how you want in the moment. And so getting that permission back is amazing and huge, liberating, transformative, and as an outlet for all of, our experiences get housed in our musculature, emotions get stuck. And so we don't even necessarily need to have a story to what we want to do. Just let it move through you. So yeah, I'm a total nerd geek when it comes to the power of movement.
And if any of you are just listening and now watching the video, you should know that Cheri is moving all over. She's just so expressive with her body. It's so fun to watch. So yeah, come watch the video if you're not. I'd love to hear from Grace. What does dance and music mean for you?
Dance and music, oh my God. It's it's just, part of my soul. It's the soul close to the skin when I'm moving to music. And it used to be the ballet bar for me was a place where everything made sense. And then COVID hit and I stopped dancing. I stopped fucking dancing, you guys. And I was like, wow. And then I realized there's a total different kind of dancing. And it's so what you were talking about, Cheri. It's where you just move, you don't think about it. You don't look at the mirror. It's done. It's over. That's like drop the old map. And I don't want to, it feels like I'm being sacrilegious around ballet, but because ballet is a beautiful art. But there's something else about the freedom of letting go. And so I need to find that. I want to find that. Like I have friends in New Mexico and they dance 5 times a week. They do all kinds of crazy stuff. And they have music and just freedom of movement with these big, huge rooms. And I want to go and visit them and I want to be part of that. And I need to fill my life with something like that. So yeah, and I noticed your affirmation, you're smiling and you're nodding and it's really sweet. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Grateful to have you here.
Thank you, Crystal.
And Sam, do you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I was about to ask. I'm like, I guess this is about the time when I'm supposed to say something.
Yeah.
It's so interesting hearing both from Cheri and Grace from their perspectives. One from the space of like, just move your body how you need to. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And coming from a place of like a very structured, like, and like very like technical based skilled dances, because I feel like my experience has always been kind of like the crisscrosses of both. And quite frankly, like without the dances I've had, or without the experiences I've had with dance, both in ballroom, which is super structured because it's very specific with competition. And that's why I usually didn't get callbacks, because I always had a dance partner that was like, we're gonna wing it. And I'm like, we can't do that, but okay, I can do that. At one point we started getting 6th place for things just because everybody else didn't know how to do the dance, but neither did we, but we looked better doing it. But like, I really see the beauty of being able to understand that structure and then letting yourself let go. Cause like, it's like when you know how you can move your body in all these different ways, in skills ways, suddenly like letting go, like, yes, like I do notice sometimes I'll still go back to like a lot of like the ballroom, like basic cha-cha steps, or like maybe chasse or something here and there. And it's like, but those, I wouldn't even think of that. Like when I listen to music, like I'm always inspired by music first. And even now when I'm like listening to the radio when I'm driving, I'm like thinking through like, oh, how can I move to this? And like I'm moving in my body while I'm driving, but like I can also feel like, okay, how do my feet want to go? Like, is this a tango? Is this a cha-cha? Is this a rumba? Like, how do I want to move? How do I want to be? And I can like picture it. And I used to go to the gym just to stand in front of the mirror and just be like, I want to do these things. Let's move it. Let's go. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have that base of like that kind of like technical structure. So like, I really do see that both have been great in my life. And also as far as dance goes, I say this a lot, like I probably wouldn't have gone into cuddling if I didn't have the baseline I did with dance, being willing to trust being so close to somebody in partner dance. Especially with the blues and fusion community here in Boston. They're super phenomenal, some of the strongest in the country. And so it's like, yeah, like this is easy for me to move to. I've even had clients from those communities come and see me. So it's like, yeah, people see the value of that touch and like that meaningful touch too in dance. So, and I forget it off all the time too, because the first thing that happens when I know that I'm depressed is that I get frozen. So moving is the first thing that gets me out of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Totally. That's awesome. I went to a few nights of like blues dancing with some of my friends, and I don't really have any background in dancing, I'm club dancing and just whatever I feel like doing. I have no structure. But the blues was so fun doing at blues night because it was just different. And my friend that I used to go dancing with, he liked to do like contact dancing improv, like contact improv dance, which was like all slow and like really, I can't even give an example. It was just fascinating to watch him, mesmerizing with
so
his
much
partner.
fun.
Yeah.
I love dancing with contact improv people. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I was so cool. And he decided to move on, but I wish I had spent more time with him. And then, yeah, I want to do that again, but it was so fun.
It always feels like to me the contact improv is like a moving hug. It's like because you play around with what parts of your body are like touching and sharing and taking weight, and it feels like, and the gal who did contact improv would talk about the sweet space where you'd just be in a certain like position and you just want to stay there just and breathe a couple times, because it really is like this moving hug. It's amazing.
That sounds amazing. Definitely.
Oh, and in the last episode of this podcast, the position that I recommended was hand dancing, and that is a contact improv. I realize now. We were talking about like how you can just kind of do this with your partner, or even with your own hand. Yeah, was that the last one, Crystal? I don't know. Were you here? It was someone else.
I don't know if I was for that one, but I definitely am familiar with that.
Yeah, I call it hand dancing because it's just kind of like, and I do think like you don't have to move all the time. I like that too, Cheri, that you said that. Like you can, in the pauses, that kind of makes the movement more, I don't know, meaningful to me. Anyway, I'm a nerd, obviously, even for dancing when I'm not a dancer, but cool. I think the next question is how does movement help soothe you, or does it? Do you use movement for soothing?
Yes, is the short answer.
Yes. Yep.
I can expand upon that if you would like.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said before, like when I am getting into a depression, and my depression episodes are very short, thank goodness, but like I know because my body gets frozen, and usually my boyfriend is usually the one that notices, like, hey, have you gone for a walk at all today? And I'm like, no, I haven't moved from the couch in like 5 hours. That is how I roll right now. But like I noticed that like when the thing that gets me out is always like something that literally gets me to shake my body or something, or like I'm not a big yoga person. Like yoga has always been something I've been like, nah, this is not helpful. Pilates, but like, I mean, Pilates was created, I think, for dancers, for like injured dancers at some point. But like, yeah, like I always default to dance. That's what gets my feet moving, and that's what gets the rest of my body moving, especially if like when I'm weighed down with that, like after having clients for a day and like something heavy comes up, I'm like, oh, again, the frozen feeling is like, I need to move. I need to shake this out. I need to do something. But yeah, I don't know if I actually answered your question. I think I veered off.
No, I think you answered it very well. Yeah.
And I love how you said you like to shake. I know that's a soothing technique I've used as well after session, after kids, after trouble, just shake it off. And I feel like it really does help.
Yes, literally Taylor Swift's Shake It Off has been a very good one for me to default to if I'm like, I don't know what to listen to. Shake it off, done.
Shake it off. There you go.
Same.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually shaking. I don't know if you guys have heard of shaking medicine or TRE, with like positions designed to evoke that deep shaking. And David Berceli noticed, he studied, how can we help people with deep trauma? And you notice that animals in the wild, when they were threatened, after the threat was, no longer present, they shook as a way to release all of that adrenaline that had come so that they could survive. And so here we are all adrenalized, and it just gets stuck in our bodies. So that's like really profound to just shake. And it makes me think of chaos in the 5 rhythms, when you're at the peak of the wave and RPMs are like frantic, and just being able to like jump and scream, and people they scream and jump and laugh and cry and everything. And it's so cathartic to just move like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Grace, do you have anything does dance help soothe you? She's thinking. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I'm thinking about changing physiology. That soothes me.
Mm.
When I notice I'm pre-tense or tense, just to change my physiology, just to get up, move. It doesn't have to be dance. It can just be arms over my head or a walk in the biome. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess if I think about life as a dance and that life dances itself through me, then everything is a dance. Everything is a dance.
Mm.
So, when I find myself stuck or frozen, like Sam, you were talking about, that seems the natural place that I want to go, is just to change my physiology a bit.
I love what you just said. Life dances itself through you. That's amazing.
Yeah, so then all of life is a dance. All of life.
Yes.
Whether I'm doing the rumba or the ballet bar or maybe even a puppy puddle, you know, maybe I haven't opened myself up to something that I have this like aversion, or I think I have an aversion to. So just let it dance.
Yeah, let it dance. I think when people are worried about getting in a pile of bodies, it's like, you don't have to. That's not what it has to be for cuddling. And for me, like, cuddling is not cuddling if it's not consensual. If it's not something that you are enjoying and liking and absolutely are 100%, I want to do this, then it's not cuddling. So that's not what we're talking about. So we definitely want.
What is it, Mary?
People. So cuddling is when you're connecting.
No. What is that when you're in a group and you don't want to be there? It's not 100% consensual. You said it's not cuddling. What is it?
Oh, well, then it's uncomfortable and it's someplace you should leave.
You don't have a name for it. You don't have a name.
I don't have a name for it. It's normal life, actually, unfortunately.
Many parties and situations people put themselves in constantly.
Yeah, we're trying to change that. Of like, that's part of what we're teaching with cuddling. Of like, we want you to be places where you have agreements that you can be safe, and it is, you're connecting in ways, the only ways that you want to. So I know a lot of people are worried about cuddling because they think it's going to be something they don't want, and it's like, well, if you don't want it, then we're not going to do it.
Also, Grace, like, I don't like puppy piles. I don't either. I don't like being touched by multiple people at the same time, and that like that surprises a lot of people when I tell them, like, I know what I like, and that's not one of them. Like, you're allowed to have boundaries around that stuff.
Not everybody wants like people piled on top of them. So yeah, and that's totally fine. And some people do, they love it, and that's fine too. But good. Yeah, thanks for telling us where you feel, though. I love hearing that.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about 5 rhythms. We talked about soothing with music, you know, and shaking it out. I'm very curious and very interested to ask about the way the emotions that come up, you know, with either the 5 rhythms, with the contact improv, with the ballet, with any of the movements that you guys choose to do. Do you use it for that, or has it evolved into that? And I guess, you know, what are the ranges of emotions that you can kind of express? Maybe how do you do that? How do you express them? I know that's a loaded question.
That's making me think of emotional release. Like, how do you use movement for emotional release? It's kind of like using it for soothing, I guess, but emotional release is soothing, right?
Yeah, ultimately, hopefully. But yeah, that totally makes me think of the 5 rhythms is designed, you know, Gabriel Roth was a genius in terms of like, okay, starting with, you know, the 5 rhythms flowing and everything's like moving and staccato, you know, and then chaos, and then lyrical, just kind of light, and then back to stillness, and that you can use that wave to process something that's going on with you. It fits so much that you can use it as a vehicle because the music kind of supports that expression. And the music itself, you know, if it's slow and calming, I tend to feel, you know, calmer, And if it's crazy, you know, then it does kind of stimulate. But people would be at the height of chaos, you know, meditating in a corner. Or, you know, when everybody was in stillness, stomping around the room, you know. So it's just really depends on where you're at in that moment. But yeah, movement for me is a great release of whatever is going on, to just let it move through.
I like that, Cheri. And I did really enjoy what you said about, you know, different types of music bringing about different things. I've noticed throughout my lifetime, my musical taste have evolved. And sometimes what I'm looking for is a heavier tune or a hardcore tune. Sometimes I'm trying to bring that emotion out. And you're right, it feels so interesting. And it's also a cool thing to notice. And I don't have a lot of familiarity with 5 rhythms, although I'd like to. It's a cool thing to notice that people can do the opposite. Even if you're in that stillness moment or the chaos moment, it can be the opposite. So I love that. That's really a beautiful share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when I heard the question, Crystal, I noticed something in my body just sort of melted. And what happened was that the answer came of some kind of surprise. Like there's so oftentimes like this exquisite agony and beauty that catches me. Like, where did that come from? Wow. And I look over my shoulder and there it is. And it surprises me and it takes me into tears, it takes me into joy, it takes me into calm, it takes me into everything Cheri was just talking about. There's just so much. And I think it's around this not just the music, but the silence in the music that surprises me. And it's so hard to fit into words. I know you guys know this. It's totally hard to fit into words. But I appreciate that. You guys holding me, trying to put it into words.
It's very poetic and beautiful how you speak, by the way. The entire time I am really catching where you're going with it and loving it. So thank you.
Catching it good. I'm glad you're catching it.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, and your voice too is actually musical, Grace. I'm like having to concentrate to hear what you're saying actually, because it's just so soothing. But I love it.
Yeah, even seeing your face and like how you're expressing it is really like drawing me into like you. And also I completely forget the question, Crystal, because I've been so enamored with everybody else's responses.
We were just discussing sort of how, and I was thinking about 5 rhythms when I was asking the question, thinking about how it's used as a healthy form of expression. So that could be a creative expression or a trauma expression or getting like, and I was kind of asking what it means for you and what you get out with music and dance and what you get out of it.
I would say a lot of it is catharticism, but like I remembered why I did this now. I was actually opening up my phone to my playlists and I'm like, yeah, looking at my playlist, I really kind of like started making playlists based on how I've been feeling. Like I literally have, it's really funny. I have one that's like intense love, dancing in the kitchen in particular. I have one that's this one's the most interesting one. I have this one I have like a teenage girl, because I guess I just had like the feelings of like a teenage girl at the time. But the most interesting one I have is titled Space Vampires / Intergalactic Patriarchy Battle, which is just like, and I listened to that on the way to work and I'm like, all right, time to take down the patriarchy with all of my professional cuddling, gonna listen to Grimes and whatnot. It's like I don't know why that name came up, but it's like, yes, these capture my feelings a lot. And like even just in that little movement in the car, even like I'm pretty sure most of the people think I'm crazy when I'm going down like 128 to work in traffic, because I'm just like singing and moving, and I'm like I swear to God I can still drive better than most people in Boston still.
I love it. And I feel such a connection to you. I make playlists all the time and I have them for each individual I'm connecting to. So like my kids, my friends, my partners, I have them just for like manic moods or depressed moods, and I have a whole bunch of really interesting titles. So I'm so excited that you shared that. That really helped me. That made me feel like Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, we're not alone in that.
Yeah, I love it.
It makes me think of people who make playlists for if they feel really sad but blocked and they just want to cry. I just want to cry. So
100%.
together, those kinds of songs that access that.
No, I definitely had an AFI phase a couple weeks ago where I just listened to all of AFI's old stuff. And if you're not familiar with them, they are basically emo screamo.
Yes.
They are super whiny screamy guys talking about really terrible life stuff and really dramatic about it. And I love it to death when I'm in that mood. It's yes, I need this right now.
I still go to emo dance nights once in a while just because it's fun. It's the best. Pittsburgh has one once a month. I'm like,
They used to have one near my house and I was so sad when they stopped them.
Wait, what's email dance night?
It's an emo dance night. So it's basically fun music that was kind of in the 90s, I want to say 2000s, very dark and cathartic. And there's AFI in there. And I like a lot of the bands that are similar to Fall Out Boy. It's kind of an interesting teenage mindset of mine, Panic at the Disco. There's interesting bands, very fun, danceable music, but also a little bit darker, let's say.
Yes, definitely dark.
I would like to do a movement break because one of our panelists has to leave early, so we want to make sure there's time for that. Do one of you want to volunteer to lead our movement break?
So before we do our dance break and actually get to experience what we've been talking about, I would love to share an excerpt from a poem by Joel Matheson, who is a 5 Rhythms dancer. And it's just this amazingly powerful poem. It's called "We Have Come to Be Danced." We have come to be danced, not the pretty dance, not the pretty pick-me dance, but the claw our way back into the belly of the sacred animal dance. The unhinged, unplugged cat is out of the box dance. The holding the precious moment in the palms of our hands and feet dance. We have come to be danced, not the invisible, self-conscious shuffle, but the matted hair flying, voodoo mama, shaman shaking ancient bones dance. The strip us from our casings, return our wings, sharpen our claws and tongues dance. The shed dead cells and slip into the luminous skin of love dance. We have come to be danced, where the kingdoms collide in the cathedral of flesh, to burn back into light, to unravel, to play, to fly, to pray, to root in skin sanctuary. We have come to be danced. We have come. So that is the excerpt of her powerful poem. And I invite you, we've got 2 songs to dance, move to, and I invite you to just see how your body wants to move and feel what it feels like to be moving. So here we go. Enjoy.
red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light. Alright, I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH.
Wow, that was awesome. Come back. Come back. I would love to hear how that was for everyone and what you noticed when you were moving. So who would like to share? Susan.
It went so quick. I'm like, what? We're already done? I was just getting warmed up. I love to dance. So I loved the music. I loved that I could just move freely and that I was joining in with others in the experience. There's just something about having the experience together, even though I had my own dance party yesterday in my room by myself. So it was nice to do it with others today. Yeah.
Yes, definitely nice to have others on board.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing, Susan. Who else would like to share? Joe.
I'll share. I noticed the stiffness in my body, and I was just feeling this, like with the gentle movements to the music, I was noticing the stiffness was dissipating, and I was just being really loving and accepting of any stiffness in my body, not trying to make it do something else. I wasn't trying to change how I felt. I was dancing with what I had, and that felt really expansive. Yeah. And I just love shaking, like, oh my God, love my body just loves to shake. So thank you for that beautiful opportunity.
I love the elements, Joe. That's awesome. Just where you are. All right. Who would like to share next? Bethany.
Share. I did agree with a lot of what Susan said about that it could be longer. Dancing is not in my comfort zone at all. So I am glad that I came, and really glad to be in a group of people who are all dancing. So I didn't feel like I was just randomly running around my room. It was really fun. I did really like it. I enjoyed watching Joe prepare for this like it was an Olympic event. Yep,
I missed it.
she was stretching the whole time, like, I'm gonna do this. I really did enjoy it a lot, and pushing the boundaries of what I feel comfortable with. So yep.
Yes, thank you so much for being willing to push some boundaries. Garvin.
Yeah, I enjoy it ever since doing a dance break on a daily basis for a while, and I just go with the flow, just like don't even think about what I'm doing, just move however my body feel like moving, just listen to the music and however my body wants to do whatever, just yeah, and that's it. That's all. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's wonderful, Garvin. I know for me, it is what you said, Garvin, about just being out of the thinking mind. It's a chance to just stop the wheels for a couple minutes and just be in the body. And so much joy. I noticed so much joy just comes from that deep allowance of just whatever it is just fine. So so now that we've embodied what we've been talking about, we're going to head back into our panelist discussion.
So fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, holy sugar, I needed that.
Yes. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Smiling.
Lost you, Ruby. I lost your audio. I can't hear you guys.
Oh no.
Oh, can you hear us?
Shoot.
Oh dear. Let's see. Have you got us back yet, Grace?
Can
Oh,
you hear us?
technical difficulties. That's
Miriam,
okay.
Go back out and come back in, okay?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Great. We'll see you in a second. Thank you.
That was amazing.
That was a fun song, and we'll get Grace to tell us what it is one more time, so we can have a link to it. I like that song. That was fun to dance to.
It was beautiful, and I was so enamored with everybody's dancing. I was copying some moves. I kept seeing some good stuff going on. Very beautiful, wavy. I love it. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, and we know there was one of our colleagues that was doing dance break every day. Are you? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you can't hear us? Oh no.
Oh, wait, I have a good idea. Okay.
Are you muted by any chance? Actually, she can't hear us.
Can't hear.
That is so weird. Anyway.
Yeah, how would you lose that?
I'm gonna take off. It's really great to to meet you guys, and I really enjoyed coming in. No guardrails, a little bit of guardrails at first, dropped them. It was real easy with you. I love dancing with you, moving with you, and thank you. It was very sweet to be with you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye, Davian.
We're grateful to have you.
Bye. Thank you, Grace. Yeah, we knew Grace had to leave early, but so glad she was with us for the time that she was. So that was awesome.
Definitely.
I'm kind of bummed that she couldn't hear that at the end, because I wanted to tell her like that. Well, especially because like for me, I'm listening to it and it was kind of reminiscent of when I first got into like partner and social dance in college, because that's the kind of style we would listen to a lot on like Tuesday nights when we just were in the campus center dancing or in the corner of the cafeteria. So I was like, oh, I miss this a lot.
Yeah.
Where do I get more of this, Grace?
I know. We need to find this. And I know one of our colleagues was doing a dance break every day. What was Faye doing? Did anybody go to her dance breaks?
I went to one.
I went to one as well.
I know Faye was doing online dance breaks. Faye, oh man, I'm just gonna have a brain fart. Faye Wyatt, thank you. And she was doing them like I think every day, so people could join her. And and it was like it didn't have to be long, but just come and dance online virtually. And I know I actually got to visit with Faye a little bit ago, and she was telling me like when she stopped doing that, she realized what was missing. I think she went traveling, and so she didn't do it for a little bit. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm not playing, I'm not dancing. Man, I miss that.
Yeah, they were really connective. I was going to say the energy that you were mentioning, Sam, just having us all be together, even if we're not in the same room, was actually really magical and really beautiful. And even with only the one or so that I showed up for with Faye's dance breaks, I was very grateful to just know that even during the pandemic, even during some isolation times, I was able to connect with people far away. And that's kind of what Nurtured Nerds means to me, and what the dance break means to me as well. I know that Cheri and I actually have been really grateful to say that we've talked a little bit about working towards a dance break in the future, and that we're super pumped about it. And Cheri, would you like to talk a little bit more about that, or would you like to talk about what you feel for dance breaks, or how you're feeling on that?
Well, I love what you said, Crystal, about really feeling connected through the movement and sharing space, and it really does feel like you're together when you do that. And being able to move together. So I think that would be a wonderful offering to, continue doing. And I'm excited to put something together and get that up and running. So stay tuned.
Definitely. I'm not sure we'll be able to do it every day. We're still kind of contemplating what kind of a schedule it would be or what kind of opportunity it would be, but I'm really excited to offer it in any capacity whatsoever. Sam, do you have any good memories from the dance break you attended, or anything that stuck out to you about it?
It was literally the very first one. So nice. Like I saw it pop up, and I was in the middle of writing my book at the time, and I was just like, this is sucking. I'm terrible at this. This needs to get trashed. Like, what the fuck am I trying to do? I'm sorry, I swear too much. But then like I saw like on Facebook on our newsfeed, she's like, oh, I'm thinking of doing this at like 1 p.m. like Pacific time. I'm like, that's 4 p.m. That's a good time to end trying to fail at a book today. And I at the time, like I was picking up my boyfriend from work at like 5. So it was like a half-hour drive. I'm like, I have time to do this. And I couldn't get on video for the life of me. For some reason, I was missing the link. But I saw all these other people dancing, and I was like, screw it, I'm just going to get on. I don't know, I'll share it, and I'll share me dancing on my own wall if that's all I can do. And obviously, because there's like copyrighted music, I couldn't like post it for people to look at later. But like I still had some like very early clients that before I actually had like a lot of things in place to prevent all of my clients from trying to friend me on Facebook, but they still followed me. But some of my early clients were like, that was really sweet to even just watch you dance and just let out however you wanted. And I was like, and for some reason, I just kept missing them after that. But I was really glad I did it at least that one time, because it's like, okay, yeah, I can go back to doing this whenever I want. Like, I'm really glad that was there. Even just that one time, it made an impact.
I agree. It made an impact on me, even just doing it a little bit and having it there for people to come to and show up to and feel like they could get something out,
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, even just those 5 minutes with you guys dancing, I feel closer to you already. And I felt pretty close with you already, but like there's even more like juicy connection. And when I've done online group events, and I've done some movement I've put into it, because it really helps people get connected to be able to move together. And I just have some movement exercises. I hadn't even thought about like doing it in virtual sessions with one-on-one clients though, but now I just did. And I'm like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Yes. We should dance with clients.
I love that. That's a great idea. And I didn't think about that either. Like it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's something about
for 5 minutes even. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something about moving that shakes off the nerves and helps people to feel more comfortable.
I agree.
Yeah. I've never really thought of that actually, because like every single new client that has never gone for a cuddle session, like at this point, I just expect when the door closes, they kind of have that one moment of like, oh my God, what am I about to do? I'm about to cuddle a stranger. But like, I never thought of like, here, let's move around a little bit and stuff like that. That's a good idea.
Release the tension for that. I think, yeah, I would love to hear if
we're on to something.
Yeah. Good call, Cheri.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so cool. Okay. How about aside from dancing, what are some other like relaxing and expressive ways you use movement for soothing? I mean, almost all movement is dancing, I guess. I don't know. How do we define dancing or not dancing? Or
how G-rated are we supposed to be?
I think it's got the limit.
We're fine. We're all grown-ups. We're all grown-ups here.
Right.
I mean, if we're really going to get down to it, like sex in itself is a way of dancing too. Like that itself is an art form, and like all that. I mean,
yeah, because you're reading off your partner and you're moving together. Yeah, totally. I agree with that. Yeah.
I like that. And I think that anything can be music. So, again, the idea of different types of movement, even without what we would call standard music, that it still makes breath is in itself a form of music. So I like that.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I love that there's something called Tiny Dances, that workshop that I was in. And it's literally just the inhale, expanding with the inhale and contracting with the exhale. And that's the tiny dance. You're not doing anything but breathing, but your body's moving. And I just thought that was very beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, even in I'm jumping around all over the place, but even in circling, the way I was like taught to facilitate and whatnot, one of the ways to like kind of like connect with each other and then do the birthday circle with the person that you're focusing on, like we kind of do our grounding, but then we open our eyes and we're encouraged to share eye contact and share a breath together, and then move to the next person. And once we've done it with everybody, to turn the attention onto the birthday cuddle. But like that has always been like, it's such a small thing, but like I realized that when I didn't do that for circling, I was like, I feel so much more disconnected than I would have if I had tried to like connect individually with each person before putting my focus on that person. It made a huge difference.
I love that you guys are involved in authentic relating. Like that's my new passion. It's amazing. So the eye contact with breath is really, really connecting.
Yeah, I do that in my closing circle for Cuddle Party, where we just have our arms all around each other in a circle and we breathe together. And then I just say, let's just have some informal eye contact with each other around the circle and realize that we're all here together. And it's just such a really lovely ritual to close our community together. Yeah.
Oh, actually, even one more. So I started taking an improv class recently, and to connect with everybody else, we've been doing this thing where we have to make eye contact with the person. We're trying to clap at the same time. And it gets very hard, like around a circle, it's fine until you can clap back and change the direction of the circle. And then we worked our way up to basically getting out of a circle, breaking the circle, walking around and trying to clap and see who has the clap next. And then, God, that sounds terrible out of context. But like you clap and you make contact and you like eventually you get back into the circle, but you're still passing that clap to a rhythm to try to get into the groove of things, to encourage like, this is improv. We need to keep going at a pace before it, or it will start to feel clunky. And it was just that's always been so so interesting to do for all of our warm-ups. I'm like, I love this. I feel way better like working with these people and trusting that they're not going to drop me on the head with whatever scene we're going to create from improv now.
Yeah, I remember doing those kind of exercises around the circle where you're just passing stuff around, like saying things and passing around by eye contact of like, you're next and you're next and then it's like, wait, who's throwing to me? You have to really be connected. Yeah. But it's like, it's exhilarating though. Yeah.
It is.
I think that my favorite memory from Cuddle Expo is actually when we started, when I was introduced to the authentic relating, which was with you, Sam, and that was just such a great memory, and it was so connecting. It was like interesting because I had just been introduced to the cuddling world within the last 6 months, and then authentic relating really just brought it home, and you know, it was very, very connective. And I think one of my favorite moments was also the and it just keeps coming up every time you guys are talking, the I don't know if you're familiar with it. It was like a butterfly waterfall. Am I thinking of the right term?
Angel kisses or something. Is that what people call it? Angel walk?
So you mentioned the birthday cuddle, and it basically was similar. Yeah, angel walk sounds right. So it's basically people circling or getting in a line, people walking through them.
So there's like 2 lines and you walk through it. You close your eyes and walk through it, and people can either say something to you or maybe they can touch you, like, and as you walk by and
whisper inspiration. And it was
so
moving. It was so moving. And I broke into tears immediately. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we all did. Like, I think that was Faye's idea. And that was like when I went through that, I was just like, oh, myself.
And I think that it was especially connective after having a full weekend of connectivity with each other, knowing each other, feeling each other, saying, okay, I see you for this.
Oh man, I wish I would have been there. That's amazing.
You would have loved it. We're gonna do it again. I am manifesting this. It's gonna happen.
I'm with you, girl. We're doing this.
Yeah, it will happen again at some point.
And ladies, I did want to ask, you know, regarding dance, and this is something I definitely relate to intensely. You know, I think that even with 5 rhythms, you know, there is a slight amount of spiritual context to it, or you know, interesting connectivity that can be considered cultural or mystical. Do you guys find any mystical, spiritual, or any kind of esoteric styles in dance, tribal? Do you work with anything along those lines, or how does that connect in with the type of dances that you do, or the type of movement that you guys choose?
I feel like, that I have been able to access really open, like cracked open spaces, and what feels like a deep meditation, kind of like, you know, the spinning, twirling dervishes, you know, where you just get into like a movement and you just give yourself completely to that movement and you're transported. Like, it's hard to put words to that.
You're in flow, right? Where that you're totally in the moment and there's nothing else.
Completely out of the mind, completely present. And it can be just, you know, with myself, or it could be shared dances and just feeling like, I love everyone here. Oh my God. Just amazing, ecstatic states. So I feel like it is a huge spiritual practice. For sure. All the way from jumping and yelling and screaming to being completely still, but absolutely present, and letting that just move through you.
This is reminding me of a active meditation that we used to do called Chakra Wisdom. It's a CD. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
It's
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. These 2 speakers put together music, and then there's words on it too, and they lead you kind of through a movement of meditation, and the music really makes you want to move. Like now we're talking about the root, and then it's all kind of like deep bass music, and ask yourself a question is kind of what the whole thing, the overarching of the meditation is, and see what all your chakras, how they react to your question. And it's just, we used to do this here in Salt Lake. We had a gal who used to lead them once a month or so, and we'd go together and do them, and it's like half an hour. So it does take a while, but to just do the movement, and then the music was all different. Like when we were doing the throat chakra, they had like throat singers in the background, and I'll give you guys the link. I think it's something you have to buy, but I'll see if I can find it. But it's amazing experience to do, just like when you're like, what am I doing? What's the answer? Where am I going next? And you can work through all your chakras and in the movement. And I like this guided meditation, this specific one. Anyway, just reminding me of that. And I'm like, I keep meaning to do it, and I keep not doing it. And I have the CD. I just need to do it.
I love that. Like such a powerful vehicle. Really, to ask a question and listen to, because the body has the answers ultimately.
Yeah, we know, we have our answers for ourselves. I'm the expert on me, and you're the expert on you. So
and I think that's a beautiful point when we're talking about spirituality, again, that wisdom within. A lot of people, so it's a lot of times a language or a semantics with it. A lot of people would consider something spiritual or mystical, and some would say, no, that's not. But I feel like that feeling, that beautiful wisdom, that euphoria, that, anything, all of the pain and trauma that we work through, those all feel spiritual to me. So I like what you guys are saying. And that flow state, really, you can find a lot of wisdom in it, no matter what activity you're doing in the flow state.
Definitely.
So I'll admit, this is a topic that I've struggled with, and I'm going to be the person to say this thing, but like, I am a white woman, like very clearly, like just by me existing, I am a danger to like non-white peoples. And when I hear of spirituality, a lot of those influences come from those minorities. So I have yet to really play with dance and spirituality in a way that not only feels very authentic to me, but is still respectful of that, like those backgrounds of where they came from, and without buying into like white people appropriating that spirituality for capitalism purposes. So like, honestly, Mary, when I heard like you say like, oh, there's a CD, then like it's chakra, I'm like, who made that, and who's profiting off of that? And like, I have concerns about that, because it's like, I don't want to take away from those people. And obviously like dimming my own light obviously does not like make theirs brighter. I fully recognize that. And how can I instead bring both of them up together? And I haven't explored that question as much as I admittedly would like to. So as far as dance and spirituality, I've been tapping into this in a very hosh posh way. And it's even just listening to music. It doesn't even matter if it's spiritually based. Like I've found that the inspiration comes at different times from different places, in like the weirdest of places. One that I've found that has been helpful for me is actually this band called, like these two guys from England, they're called Hertz. They had an album that came out, oh God, like a wicked long time ago, probably like 2013, 2014. But the whole album is like a really dark, deep set of songs that are like very heavy, influenced by like heartbreak, like primal sex, death, and like really dark places. And you can hear it in the tones. And like when I listened to it the first time all the way through for the album, I was just sitting with that and like letting myself stretch out to that and just be like, yeah, this is what life feels like. And how do we move with that? How do I move with that? And it was heavy, but it was hard, but it also felt like the spirituality that I needed. And I would love to be able to expand that. And I'm not sure how to do that in a way that feels authentic to me and is also honoring where that spirituality origins come from. So I'm absolutely open to hearing about those if you know of any. And I have yet to really explore that answer myself, I'll be honest.
Well, I think that's a really, really beautiful point that you made, Sam. And I'd like to share that I'm grateful for that perspective. And I feel like we can all relate to what you're saying entirely. And I think for me, it's been a slow process. And I think that for me, finding communities that I trusted and felt authentic with, and kind of learning what they learned, I feel that there are so many areas, and this includes like yoga and martial arts, where you're seeing almost a watered down version of what it really is. And unfortunately, we are seeing that everywhere. And I struggle personally with capitalism almost every second of every day. I'm like, oh God, how can I be in this world and do this? But I know that there's a balance, and I think it's such a personal journey. And so I'm so grateful to even see a portion of your journey, even talk to you about that. I think that was a really moving share. And I resonate with the idea of some of the darker music and some of the primal, even primal popular music, even emo, even, Linkin Park, even like just bands that I was able to kind of connect in with in my own space and time. And I think my evolution personally was due to small communities that I was able to fall in love with and be with. And I usually stepped away from them at some point. I usually said, you know what? I don't think this is that authentic anymore. I'm seeing you later, but it's still, I learned a ton from those places. And I was able to take a little bit and say like, I like that. Yeah. I like that share there. Thank you.
I think it's good to be aware of that. Yeah. Oh. I'm realizing my shirt right now has a big namaste on it, or om. I'm sorry, it's an om symbol.
It's beautiful.
Which, I love. So yeah. But to be aware of being respectful when we are learning things from other cultures. So
I really appreciated that share as well, Sam, and understanding the origin of where the art came from,
and honoring it. Yeah.
I think the new agey stuff got really popular for a while, and everybody was just kind of doing their own flavor and not really caring if it was authentic or whatever. Just and it's and we have to have a balance. Of course, every facilitator does things their own way, but we need to be respectful and acknowledge where these things are coming from, and don't use them if you can't respect where it came from. I guess. Yeah. I really resonate with like Asian, like Buddhist philosophies and things like that, and I was like, I kind of wish I wasn't a white American woman right now, but I am. So, this is where we are.
In a lot of ways, the fact that you have that awareness that there is that balance, it means that it's a good thing you're in the position you are right now, because you can be the one to educate people and shut the shit down when it's like real bad and really like very like explicit like appropriation or like piggyback like profiting off of like Black bodies, like that shit's not okay, and you're more likely to be listened to when you speak up and you have the background knowledge to say fuck off. I'm swearing a lot. I'm gonna shut up for a moment because this might be too much for your podcast.
Well, this is a grown-up podcast. We're all
passionate. I love it. You're passionate.
I mean, to go off on a small tangent, in a lot of ways, I've been thinking a lot about like where professional cuddling originated from. Like, I mean, Sam Hess is definitely doing that work, and where did it originate in our culture? Where did it originate in other cultures? Have we borrowed from like Japan? Like, I've actually like gone through like the translated sites of like Japan of like the cuddle salons that are still there, and it's like very different type style of cuddling than what we do here for sure. Like we've absolutely in our own way appropriated our own work, and trying to honor like this is what existed before. We're in the culture we are today where that can't really exist that way, because we'll probably get arrested, because like butt pillows are a common thing in cuddle salons. Who knew? That's the thing. You can pay for that. You pay an extra fee, and that looks really bad in America, unfortunately.
Totally think that could be its own podcast in itself, is like the origins of cuddling, the history. I've researched a lot of tantric Buddhism and just thought a lot about the origins of connecting, weaving, what we do as authentic relating. I feel like they're so all interconnected, but you're right. We're pulling from so much. What a fascinating subject though. That's amazing.
That would be fascinating. Like I just, not that long ago, I realized like the 10 cents a dance girls were cuddlers, basically, and they cuddle while they're dancing for the length of the dance. They have a hug, or what when they're dancing. And I was like, wow, that was an epiphany for me at the time. Like, so yeah, in a way, cuddling is not new, because there have been things like that all through history with sex workers or with the dancers, or it's been there. we've created, I think we've kind of created, it's like when different people think of the same thing. What is that called? It's a parallel evolution or something, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, make it and we have to go on with the way that it's working for us, I think. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, let's see. Where are we at? How you guys feeling? How are we doing? Let's do a check-in for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, this is super fun and interesting. I'm having a great time.
I'm feeling like respected and seen for like you guys letting me go on my little tangents.
I love your tangents, Sam.
Okay.
They're always on topic to me. So yeah,
it's
all good.
Intelligent and articulate. And
yes, absolutely. That's what we're here for. So yes, please do. Oh, okay. I need a second to look at the questions. I'm not sure what we should talk about next. You know, we did touch on this a little bit, but how do you feel like the dancing and movement kind of relates to sexuality and sexual expression and even like sexual energy even? Does it for you, or sometimes, or not always, or always? I don't know. This is a topic we kind of have a little bit of taboo with in cuddling because we're all just like, oh, we're platonic. We don't talk about sex, but you know what? We're all sexual beings, right?
Definitely.
And even though cuddling is not a sexual activity for us as professional cuddlers, we still can acknowledge that we're all sexual beings, I think. I don't know, for me, dancing is kind of sexy sometimes. It just feels like, ooh, I'm really in my body feeling pleasure, right? But I think cuddling is sex positive as well, because it's about pleasure in your body and releasing shame and all of that. So
anyway. It makes me think of, yeah, I mean, that movement and dance has been kind of a way you go out clubbing, you kind of make goo-goo eyes while doing that little shimmy. And it's, you know, it's been also sexualized, like cuddling and you know, touch has been. And so my challenge with the ecstatic dance community in Phoenix was the difference between club dancing, you know, and having that kind of pickup vibe and authentic movement. And like, you're not, you know, you're doing this for you. You're not doing it as a performance. And to take away kind of the sexualization of the movement and embody it. And it feels very parallel to the challenge with cuddling, you know, that trying to desexualize touch. Like, yes, it's very much a part of sex and sexual relationship, but it's so much more. And that's the same with dance and movement, you know. And, you know, given a different context, it's so much more.
Yeah. Sam, did you have anything you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to give a moment for sharing on that to sink in, because I don't want to like respond immediately and feel like I'm really with my conversation.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, because that was good. I like that. Yeah. I probably first noticed how much dancing and sexuality were linked for me when I first went to the World Domination Summit out in Portland, Oregon, and they're having the final one this year. I can't wait to freaking go. I really can't. But I went back in 2016 and that was my first time going. And like, even back then, like if there was a dance floor, I was going to be one of the first people out there. And I remember there was a guy that beat me there. And you know, like that old video of like the lone nut guy. And it's like, you see this one, oh my gosh, he was the lone nut. And he was like, I shouldn't say he was an awful dancer. I thought he was a great dancer. Like, anybody else looking at him would probably be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He looks like he is having a seizure. But I saw, like, I love people like that. I love like when they like probably, even if they cannot dance for the life of them, they do not care. They are going to go out there because they want to dance. Like, I realized like around that time, like, I am very attracted to people like that. And my partner is exactly the same way. He's like, I'm not a great dancer, but I'm going to dance because I want to. And I'm like, fuck yeah. But like this guy I met, and it was just like over the course of quite a few days, like he and I kept connecting through dance, and then like through singing, and then through all sorts of like forms of music. And it like we both kind of realized like, oh gosh, there's like a really strong like sexual energy between us. But like during that entire time, like regardless of what happened, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but like I learned so much about my own sexuality over the course of those 3 days, just like being in connection with him in all of these different ways. And like I mean, not to give him all the credit about my own sexual discovery and whatnot, but like I felt like that was really interesting to see that dynamic for the first time, because before then, yeah, it was mostly like clubbing dudes trying to grind against my butt, and I'm like, get away from me, this is not how I want to dance. And it's like that was the first time I really felt really connected with somebody in dance and music and singing and all of that, and had that energy infused in such a way that felt very like sexual and like connected, and like, oh, like I actually like got a passport to go to Germany to try to see this person. That didn't work, but like that's how powerful that was.
That's amazing though. I do think that I really think you can explore your sexuality through dance and explore just connection through dance. And I really liked your share, Cheri, about the fact that, you know, we're very confused as a society, what is sexual and what isn't. We're very confused how to connect without it being sexual. We're very confused about how to be intimate, and dancing is a very intimate thing, whether it's with yourself or with a partner or with a beautiful group. I have a lot of memories of clubbing and just dancing like the crazy person to get away from anybody who was interested in doing anything besides like I just wanted my thing. So it was really beautiful. And I really think it's wonderful to get back to that. I feel like, you know, we all kind of, especially in our professional cuddle world, you know, we really try to focus and as Mary mentioned, focus on the platonic, teach people where that is, where they can be there. And then once you build that beautiful foundation for intimacy, you can kind of keep working through and exploring in other realms. Do you ladies use it in any dating senses, or even, I mean, do you try to meet and connect people that way? Is that a regular practice, or have you, I know we talked about your experience, Sam, but any other experiences on if you use dancing kind of to connect with people you don't know?
Yeah, I feel like I am most grounded and relaxed and happy and joyful when I'm dancing. So it's the easiest place for me to be like, oh, here I am, and not attach anything to it, because I am just in my joy. And it's the perfect medium to meet anybody in.
I agree.
In my experience, it hasn't been actually, and it's mostly because like especially the dance community here in Boston is fairly small and fairly complex. Like I didn't even know, like I met Peter Benjamin through circling. I didn't even know he was in the blues community, and I never actually met him at a blues dance somehow. Like we just happened to go on opposite days, and it was just like, oh, okay. But like I have stepped away from a lot of the dance communities because I've always been like the social butterfly and wanting to go to a little bit of here and a little bit of that, and I like that way. That's kind of how I operate overall. But I have noticed like the people that have stuck in the communities, I maybe make a few connections and I hear about drama, and I'm like, I'm kind of glad I didn't get that involved, because this seems very complex and I don't really want to be like interweaved in that. And like in a lot of ways there's also a lot of beauty in getting into that drama and getting out of that drama, I'm sure, but like I just don't want that at all myself.
I feel that.
Yeah, and I've had some moments connecting with people dancing, but that's kind of not my groove either. So like once a year, it's fun for me to do something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But it's also fun to be able to like see how people's personalities come out in dancing. I especially love doing like fusion because like there's no real rules in fusion. You can mix whatever things you want into that. So it's like, hey, what are you pulling from? What do you know about spinning? Where are your pauses going to be? What part of the music you're going to influence? And it's kind of a lot like West Coast swing, I guess, in that way. But I actually am terrible at West Coast swing. I know the basic and that's about it. But so fusion is like the East Coast version of like what we have here that's popular, I guess. But I really like, I mean, they have West Coast here too, but like the fusion community, in my opinion, is probably a little more tight knit and like expanding into like the different types of styles you can do. Less Jack and Jill though, which is a really fun competition style. Are you familiar with Jack and Jill at all?
No.
Oh my gosh, such a fun. So it's basically like, yeah, I mean, I have yet to do one myself. I always wish I could have done one, but it's basically like leaders and followers are in separate hats. They pull a name out of a hat for each. Those are the people that are going to be dancing. They play a song and you compete. That is it. And I was like, I want to do that. That would be so fun. Like, who am I going to dance with? Do I even know them at all? Like, what's going to come up from this? This is going to be great. And I thrive in like that discovery phase. That's what it is. Like, I like that personality. Like, who are you as a dancer? And like, how is this showing up like as a person here, and how can I play with that? That's fun for me.
That takes courage. I give you mad props. That's beautiful. I love that.
That just made me think of my experiences doing opera, because I sang with Utah Opera for 18 years and we often had to dance on stage, and we were cast as partners, you know, so I didn't pick my partner. But I always had great partners. And it's so interesting when you learn how somebody leads, or if they don't lead and then I lead, you know.
Back leading is a thing.
Yeah, back leading is totally a thing. And so I have danced professionally even. So
yeah,
didn't remember that.
And you said you can't dance.
I know. But we did like waltzes and polkas, and from like, you know,
the best.
I know, like in those lovely, beautiful ball gowns, like in things that are set in like 1850 or something, things like that. It's so fun. Yeah.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I kind of miss that. Hope I can do opera again someday. But yeah, way cool. Thank you for bringing up that memory for me.
Loved hearing it.
Yeah, thanks.
I love the fusion, Sam, you were talking about, and it made me think of a fun memory of doing Argentine tango to swing music in a country bar.
Oh my gosh, that's like the trifecta of very different dances.
They're all two-stepping around us. And,
oh gosh.
Oh my God, it was so
That was
fun.
awesome.
So cool. Oh my gosh, my face hurts from smiling, you guys. Oh. Well, I love talking about dancing, but I'd also love to hear like what other nerdy things are you interested in that you might like to share with us? Because I love just like nerding out on whatever, and we've been nerding out on dancing and music today, which is awesome. But I like to celebrate nerdiness wherever we can find it. Do you want to share like what you might be a nerd about? Or geek, or whatever your own word is, or I forget. Oh, Cheri had a different word that you liked better. Dork. Cheri's own self-label is dork.
I like that.
We're all family here.
Which does make me think of something I'm a total nerd about, is just being silly and playful and goofy at any available opportunity. And I've wanted to do play shops forever, and you know, have Nerf guns and wrestle and pillow fight and everything, because we don't grow up. We never grow up.
We're kids with more years on us. That's all. Everyone's pretending. Yeah. I know.
Yes. So I'm a total dork. I love my dorkiness.
But playing, it's another movement, right? It's another form of movement that we are told we're not supposed to do as adults, which is ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah, this whole growing up thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so, yeah. Like, I don't have kids, but I go to Disneyland because I like it for me. So, so why can't we admit that? Like, that's why people like to be around kids, because it gives you like the permission to play. And I was like, we don't need that permission. We can play.
My favorite jobs are nanny jobs. I literally just run around with kids. We have fun, Play-Doh, just out in the yard. It is definite, 100%.
Yeah.
I am so excited you brought up Disneyland because I'm going to Disney World next week. A client's flying me out to go with her. And I'm
with a
so
client.
pumped.
Ooh,
I love it.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So fun.
Yeah, so I've been nerding out on like what's in the Magic Kingdom that I will like and all that fun stuff.
So much good stuff there. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
Very magical.
Oh yeah, I get to put my Disney hat on. I still have get to see. Oh gosh, what's that movie that everybody's been like raving about? That's the new Disney movie.
Oh yeah, the brand new one.
Encanto, is that right?
Everyone's been telling me to watch it, and I have not, and I need to.
No, I need to as well.
I love it. I watched it a million times. I watched it like 16 times already.
All right. I am glad. But yeah, as far as nerdy things. So actually the last time I was on this podcast, I had talked about Stardew Valley. Well, that has now evolved because I discovered that there are speed runners for Stardew Valley, which is they have a goal in mind. Like it might, like Mary, you have played the game, but there might be a goal, like complete the crafts room bundle, or like then you do that in the fastest time possible. And on speedrun.com, you can like, you have to record you doing it. You have to have the timer on screen so that they can show you you did it fast. And there's one guy named, like his username on Twitch is the Hobu. I actually just subscribed to him, and he's phenomenal to watch. Like he does things insanely fast. Like he got perfection, like everything in the game, like perfection in like 28 hours. I'm like, what is, holy sugar, this man like is like like a 24-year-old kid, like just like absolutely insane. And I like watching his stuff, and I started watching some people that were trying to like catch up to him that were just like, I mean, I don't want to be too mean, but like this person was not a speedrunner. He made so many mistakes. And finally I was like, that's it. I'm getting my game out. I'm going to beat his time. So I like started getting into speedrunning myself. I'm like, I'm getting there. I'm still pretty terrible because I'm noticing like, okay, I took too long here. I shouldn't have even bothered getting crops then. I should have just slept through most of spring and waited till like summer and only bought melons and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm like trying to strategize. Like, how do I get on the leaderboard? I want to get on this. And it's not just, I mean, I realized afterwards that my username in most places is Snuggle with Sam, and I didn't plan on inadvertently advertising myself. Like even when I subscribed, like even like I did it live while Habu was doing it. Like he paused for a second. He's like, "Thank you, Snuggle with Sam." And I was like, I was not planning on that accidental advertisement, but cool. I'm glad that was out there.
That's awesome.
But I'm gonna get on the speedrun site. I'm gonna get my score up. That's my goal. That's what I'm nerding out about right now.
That's too fun. Yeah. Wow. I can't even look ahead for that yet at the moment. I'm just trying to get the next thing. I'm trying to meet Mr. Kui in this second iteration that I'm playing right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a game that's not meant to be speedrun. Let's be real. It, like you're supposed to enjoy the ride and everything that you can do. Like the game is set up so that you do that. But like the speedrunners, like they ignore entire parts because like that's not important. We need to focus on this and whatnot. Like there's so many distractions to try to distract you from the speedrun, and I get distracted all the time.
You really have to know the game and strategize to get that kind of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, if you've done it a lot and you love it, that's a great new way to hack it and get nerdy about it. I love it.
Really good way to get your $15 out of it.
There you go. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Love it. I got married in the game, by the way. I have a husband now.
Ooh, who'd you marry?
I married Dr. Harvey.
He's such a sweetheart. I mean, they all are, but I like him a lot.
And my character in the game is a boy, so it's a gay couple. So it's like really cute.
You're gonna adopt children. Yay!
Yes, it's really fun. Anyway. Cool. Love hearing what we're nerding out about, because being nerded about it just means you love it. I love hearing what people love.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
How about you, Mary? What are you nerding out about?
What am I nerding out about? Oh gosh, I just got some new shelves put in my kitchen. They're pretty awesome. By a company called Shelf Genie. They're probably local to Utah, but they're amazing. They did like custom shelves, and we like made one that has all our spices in it. So yeah, we were working on that today. I'm kind of nerdy about that right now.
I have heard of Shelf Genie. I think they are national.
Oh, are they? Okay, cool. Yeah, but they do custom shelves that are amazing. If you feel like your kitchen is not functional, or your closets or anything, they're so cool.
I'm excited. I'm looking
behind me. I'm gonna have to look that up. We have no idea what we're doing with our closet right now.
Or like, I see your cupboards like above your closet. They can put stuff up there that you can pull it out and it comes down, so you can reach into it. It's amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
Short people like me, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
you have more usable space.
I'm like hearing this going, oh baby, oh baby.
Oh baby. I know, see? Yeah. I mean, you think, oh yeah, you're nerdy about your cabinets. Yeah. Well, but they're cool.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's very cool to learn about, actually. Get excited.
Well,
I like to organize. So I mean, I'm getting better at it. So I feel you.
Yeah.
I will admit one more thing too that I am nerding about, and I don't want it to derail conversation because I was originally not going to say it. This week my boyfriend and I got a dog, and we've been nerding out about how to take care of it because it's two breeds that we did not plan on getting, and we realized like, it's a Jack Russell Italian Greyhound mix, and we're like trying to like learn everything we can about the breeds. Like, it's a very intelligent dog, by the way. Already deciding that we're not the alphas and ignoring us half the time. So we're like, okay, how do we get this? Okay, they need like at least 12 hours of sleep. Do we need to leave the house enough to? Like, they have a tiny bladder. How often do we need to take them out for walks? Like, we are like looking all this up, and like she's an anxious girl too, so like we just had people over at the house for the first time, and she was not having it. Like, okay, do you have the space to run away and not be around them? Okay, now that they're gone, what do we do to take care of you? Like, we're like I mean, we're basically treating it like a child, but like, I mean, she's such a sweetheart too. But like, my boyfriend's in the other room right now with her, and she originally wanted to come in the room. I'm like, I'd be happy to keep the door open, but if she keeps coming in and out, we're just gonna get distracted. So if you would like, I can, at least for the recording, I can pull out a picture of her so we can share it with people.
She is super cute. She has the biggest eyes.
I love it.
So here is her. This is my boyfriend holding her after we saw her friends.
Oh, so cute.
Baby.
Yeah. She is such a freaking sweetheart. Her name is Kissa, and she actually had a Greek pet passport because she originally was from a Greek family that immigrated to Massachusetts, and then they had to surrender her because the wife got hurt and they couldn't take care of both the dog and the wife. So, and then 2 days later we picked her up ourselves. Yes, a pet passport. I have a picture of that too, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Yes, I was like, wow, this dog might be better traveled than I am. Darn.
Pet passports are a thing. That's awesome.
That is a wonderful thing to nerd out about, by the way. I'm very excited and very happy for you. Congratulations. And your thoughtful, caring parents. I mean, for real, that's key. Yeah. Not everyone does that. Like, there's a lot of people that adopt puppies and don't realize that, looking into breeds, there's so many differences in the breeds. So I'm really
Oh yeah, like even when we went to the shelter, like we were talking about like, okay, can we give this dog a good home? But like okay, she's big, she's small enough that we can have the space for her. She has no stairs to worry about, blah blah. And even like the shelter people were like, you were putting way more thought into this than most of the people that come through this door. And I'm like, well, we want to adopt the right one. If it's a same day adoption, we don't want to have to bring her back. That's even worse.
Yeah, good for you. It is a serious thing, and having a dog is a lifestyle change. Totally.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. So cool. that's what I'm discovering now too. The upside is she loves the music from Stardew Valley, and that calms her down.
Oh, that's good.
I was just about to ask if you dance with her. So, I mean, that sounds good. She's liking some music.
Oh, she balances on her hind. Like, you saw the picture I showed you. She balances on her hind like so well. Like when we're out for walks with her, like she wants to meet everybody when we go for a walk. Like people in the space. Oh no, that's too close. But going out for walks, she wants to be everybody. And if she's not close enough, or we start going the wrong way, she starts balancing on her back hind legs, and she's like, come on, let me go see them. She doesn't really bark, but she cries. So it's like, I know, baby, but like you want to see them, but they don't want to see you. We need to actually respect that. So teaching the dog consent too.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
yeah,
So cool. Yeah. Excited to see how she fits in your family.
Yeah.
Just keep posting those pictures. I love it. I love it.
Yes,
I will.
please. Yes,
I'll
please.
post more pictures of her than me.
That's good.
Love it. Thank you, ladies.
Well, we're coming kind of close to the end. So I just wanted to say, do you guys have anything you want to say to people that might be listening or watching who might be curious about like dancing or worried, like somebody's going to watch me, they're going to judge me, I shouldn't be moving because I'm not good enough, or, you know, anybody who might be isolated or alone? Do you have any words of advice or a message?
I would just say to them that it doesn't matter if anybody is watching, just kind of tune in to what your body wants to do and give it full permission. Whatever that looks like, it doesn't matter. And that it does help to move, you know, when you're frozen, like, you know, Sam, you were talking about it does help. Yeah, because it's been hard. It's been a really like a marathon that just won't end. So this is something that can help. Just move. You will feel better. Honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what it looks like or how you want to do it. Maybe standing up is not good, but you can move in your chair. You don't even have to use your hands. You can just go.
I like that little. That's another thing that's very fun is just doing a little humming, you know, just make up your own little song.
Oh, I saw the cutest thing on Facebook somebody posted. It was a teacher in China, and she had a little board where the kids could choose, like, do you want to hug? Do you want to fist bump? And I'd seen stuff kind of like that before, but on hers, she had like do a little wiggle dance, and they would do eye gazing and then just go, and then you'd go in the, and I was like, that was one of the choices. I was like, that's so cute.
I love that.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
want to use it. I love
like
it.
half the kids chose that. So they came up to her and they're like, and they go in the, yeah. Too cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Sam, do you have any words you want to share with folks who might be feeling worried?
So I'm gonna bookend this with something because I realized like, oh yeah, we're also talking about music too. So this doesn't happen often, but a couple nights ago, like I'll have a tune and some lyrics to a song come to me in a dream. And it kind of stuck with me since then. And I haven't fully worked out the lyrics to some of the parts, but it's clearly like a chorus of sorts. But the very last part that came to me in the tune, it was like really pretty. It was like, and in the end, it'll all be okay. And I was like, oh, I like this. We started singing that to the dog. When she's like calm, we're just like petting her. And it's like, and in the end, it'll all be okay, as she's falling asleep. And it's really sweet. So as far as like people that don't want to dance, barring being arrested for indecency or disturbance of the peace, which I can say from personal experience, it takes a lot to do that. Another story for another time. Just dance. You like the worst that's going to happen is people look at you funny, and quite frankly, that's not the worst. Let's like compared to what I just mentioned, not so bad. And also, like, you never know, like even if you think that you suck at dancing, like you never know who's gonna watch you and be like, oh, that's hot. Like I want to dance with that person. And it's because in the end, it'll all be okay.
Plus, you got maybe those people over there looking at you funny, but then those people over there are looking at you like, oh, thank you for sharing yourself with me.
Yeah.
The number of times I've danced and I've been like, that sucked. I was terrible. Oh my God. Why would and somebody walked up and was like, I could not get over watching you dance. You seemed like you were having the time of your life. And I'm really glad I got to watch you. And I was just like, really? I thought I was terrible, but thanks for that one. Holy sugar. I guess I'm better than I thought. It's wild. Like the perception we have of ourselves that is so inaccurate sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
I agree completely with you guys. I think, it takes a lot of courage sometimes to step into certain arenas, whether it's cuddling or dancing. But doing it, whether you're alone, whether you've got music, whether you are just slight moving, whether you have trusted people, whether you're joining a dance break or doing it virtually, I think trying, stepping in and just taking a chance a little bit. And I do think that you raise kind of your energy, you kind of get more joyous, or you work through some things, and then people see that. I think it's interesting because it's not as much in my mind whether your dance moves are on par or accurate or cool or in the trendy mode. It's more people see that energy or that vibe or that joy that you're showing and bringing, and then they're like, heck yeah, give me that, so that's where I think it comes into play, which is freaking awesome.
Which I just want to note, like this whole energy that Cheri's been giving off this entire time, basically from start to finish. I've just been like, I've been like not nomming on this the entire time. I'm like, oh yes, I needed this. Thank you so much for bringing this kind of energy. I like just even looking at your screen, I'm like, oh, I'm here.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Love, love, love.
And ladies, let me ask, do you guys have any websites, any, business information that you want to share? Like, I know you guys, have your own cuddle practices, have your own groups that you lead, anything you want to give for people to reach out to you so that they can kind of be a part of your world?
Well, first of all, when is this going to release in time? I don't know, but
may or may not.
Yeah, may or may not, but I'll mention it anyways. I'm planning for once a year around this time of year to launch Snuggle School. This is the third iteration I've had of this course. I've done a lot of work into it. Anybody that's purchased the course or got it as a bonus does not have to pay a penny. And I think like that's quite a few people. I just sent emails out about this recently, but I'm so proud of this version. Like I've spent like 5 months really like stewing in this, like figuring out like what is it that people really need in order to really do well in this work. And like I have a host of bonuses, like strategy call with me on how to approach the course. I actually offer like to pay for another training from somebody up to $200. Like Snuggle School is actually currently in its early registration as of this recording. Whether it gets released is another in time is another story, but we're starting February 14th. So if you are hearing this before then, it is open. If you are hearing it afterwards, we'll be open again next year, but it will be running it for 7 weeks. I don't actually have the link off the top of my head. Shit. I'll get you one for the notes, but the two otherwise for my personal practice, you can go to snugglewithsam.com. And if you're either a current cuddler or somebody that wants to like learn more about professional cuddling, I have a separate site that's called cuddlecareer.com. And I'm once I have things settled with Snuggle School and everything I'm releasing through that, I'll be ramping up the blog on that more. But right now there's a post of information for people that are like, I don't even know the first thing about this professional cuddling thing. Where do I even start? What's all this business stuff I need to consider? Like I lay out a few of those things there. So it's a good resource to start with.
Definitely. Yeah. I recommend Sam's Snuggle School, and I'm excited for when your cuddle career comes back again. Cause I definitely need to work on what you've got. So
what I think is
looking forward to it.
Yeah, what I really like about you, Sam, is that I think as professional cuddlers, we work so hard on the empathy, the connection, getting really into the meat and potatoes of cuddling. And I think what you offer that I really enjoy is a very intelligent, strategic business model. Like you're able to help gain clients and strategically move into, hey, I want this as something. And it's interesting. We just talked about the capitalism thing, and it's really important to value yourself. And I think you do such a great job at like teaching good skills to hold that intention, but still be a growing business. I think that your mindset is very much like that.
thank you. And absolutely, that connection is absolutely a piece that's important to it too.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that's what I kind of went back to in this iteration, is that like we can't really build a business until we have that connection foundation laid out. So we really
Great.
focus on that for this one.
I love it. Thank
Very
you.
cool. Thanks, Sam. Yeah. And Cheri, how can we reach you?
Well, first I have to say, man, that all sounds amazing, Sam. Like, woohoo! It's, you've been at this for so long and you're such an inspiration to me. I mean, really, like, thank you for blazing on ahead. Totally appreciate you. So, and once I'm like a little more financially able to do so, I would love to take everybody's, I know Mary, we talked about this before, everybody's training. I want to take everything that everybody's doing. I want to go. So I'll be there when I can with bells on. So as for me, my website is thetouchtonic.com. thetouchtonic.com. And I am doing one-on-one in-person sessions and also virtual sessions. And I have a whole page and a video that talks about, what do you mean virtual? I don't understand. What could that entail? So I go into that. And I also do, I'm going to start up virtual groups again, because I really do feel like, who knows what this pandemic is ever going to do. And it's really opened up kind of a global community. We've always had access to each other, but now it's kind of in our awareness. And I would like to continue to offer virtual things regardless of what's happening, in the real world. So virtual groups are super fun. Start those up again in probably a month. And then in-person groups as soon as things get a little gnarly out there. But yes, so I would love to, if you're curious, drop me a line. I'm happy to chat, and also sign up for the mailing list so you can be a part of the virtual stuff that I'm doing and know when it's coming down the pike.
Cool.
Thank you.
Woohoo. So much juicy stuff here. How are we all feeling at the end of our discussion here?
Grateful. I know, Sam, when you do that, it's like, I just want to hug everybody now.
Yeah.
We can do hugs too right now if you want.
Yeah.
I'll hug you, Cheri. I'm all about hugs. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty relaxed and connected with you guys.
The word that came up for me was full.
I love it. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to do a cuddle of our episode, and then we're going to have all our promos, and you guys are welcome to stay. I hope you will. And give us any comments that you've got. And yeah, we usually like to try to share a cuddle position or a pose every episode, just so people maybe can be exposed to something new, hopefully. Does anybody have one they want to share? Because we actually didn't pick one in advance. We're improvising today. What comes up for you guys?
There's one that feels very yummy, and I don't know the names of these things. So I need Grace's stick figures to So one person is laying on their back and the other person snuggles in and and bends their knees in so that the one on the back has their legs over the person. So Chris, what is that called?
I think it's called several things, but yeah, Tetris is definitely one of them. But I think they call it something else sometimes too. I think there's one that I use called honeymoon maybe, but it's like similar with the legs up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I might be picturing it wrong, but it sounds like, I think in the Cuddle Sutra that's called Through the Woods.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, in the Cuddle Sutras, Through the Woods.
I only know that just because I had actually performed that on a stage at one point.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
You've got your knees here, and then the other person has their knees over, and then you're cuddled up on their shoulder. Yeah,
it's my favorite.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I also I made up names before I knew what they were, and then I discovered the names. I'm like, I'm still using my names because I like mine better.
What's your name?
I call it the chair. I believe it's called Mama Bear, Papa Bear. I call it the chair because it literally feels like a chair when somebody lays back on me. And so it's literally like I am sitting up, the other person is sitting up in front of me, and they recline back onto me. Like basically their head is usually like around here, like my collarbone or something. And I just engulf them in a hug that way. And it is my absolute favorite. And I love it because it doesn't matter how heavy somebody is, they're not going to hurt me. And I tell everybody that when they kind of like are hesitant to lay back, I'm like, you are not going to hurt me. I've had 400-pound people on me doing this before and I was fine. You're not that heavy. You're going to be fine. And even if you are, I'm probably going to be fine. I will find a way to make it fine. And if I'm not, then I will tell you, but like, let's start there. And I love it because like, it's such a great way to start with cuddling too. Cause if somebody's like super nervous, like, oh, I don't know about face to face. I don't know about spooning. I don't know about like, even like having like your head on my chest or anything. Like it's the most low pressure way to start it for somebody. And it's all about them. Like there's no pressure for them to do anything. They are only receiving. It's like, especially for men, they're like, oh, I can have this. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to do or be anything or show up in like a super masculine way right now. You can just receive. That's okay. And I love it for that reason.
Two yummy positions. Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, I don't know if you know, I don't like that word for describing things.
Oh, what word do you like to use?
Just any word except for yummy.
Oh, yummy is the word. I thought you were talking about position. Sorry.
It's all good. You're good.
Because I know there's kind of a little dichotomy in the cuddle world. I don't really want to say like that it's a controversy, but some people call it positions and some call it poses.
Oh yes. yes, that is true.
A friendly rivalry, maybe.
I go back and forth with how I describe it. I'm also noticing colloquially, I'll just go with whatever somebody will like remember and identify. It's like, okay, is the intention there? Okay, cool. And I do that with both the word cuddle therapy and professional cuddler too.
I do that too. And I kind of like what our producer did in the outline for us. He just called it the cuddle of the episode. So maybe we just need to call it, it's a cuddle.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I definitely am more fluid with it. Just kind of go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Yeah. Well, I will try not to use the Y word around you, Sam, if I can remember.
Thank you.
Ironically, Sam, I am known for the word yummy. Like literally. I know. You're like, her reaction. I love it.
All right. It's just like one of those things for me.
I won't go there. I won't go.
Nurturing. Anyway, all right, well, it's time to do our promos. Crystal, would you care to read our promos for us?
I would love to.
That would be great.
Definitely, to let you know, we do have a current new member drawing. It's a raffle for Nurtured Nerds. If anybody's interested in joining Nurtured Nerds or finding out more about us, you can go to NurturedNerds.com, although it looks like that's still maybe under reconstruction. So
I'm still working on it, but any minute now it's going to be.
If you have any difficulty, then we'll just go to the Facebook / if I'm saying that right, Nurtured Nerds, Facebook.com / Nurtured Nerds. We are working on Instagram, Discord, and that's my job there, the Instagram, Discord, and Twitch. Those are going to be coming soon. But you can email NurturedNerdNewbies@gmail.com if you, for some reason, aren't accessing any of those social media. You can, of course, reach out to either Mary or myself. And I'm learning new word. I love it. Nurtured Nerd Newbies. I love it. You can reach out to us. There will be some information in the notes as well. So you're welcome to take a look at that on all of our members today. But just to let you know what's in the raffle, you can get a 30-minute virtual session with any of the participating professional cuddlers. There is an intake screening for that. So that is a fully consent oriented virtual session. We do offer Mary's free ebook on cuddling and connection. We're super pumped, super proud of her, super proud of that. A free video game, as I can't speak, video game gift card, which can be used to download a video or PC game. And I don't know if that's through a specific server or not. Also, you get the chance to submit a question for one of our podcasts, which is kind of fun. Right now, we're also offering a discount on our current raid, and I've actually started working on it again, the Jerk Proof Your Relationship raid. That's from Cassandra Brown with Cuddlist. It's actually a really amazing connection class. So that's a quest that we're kind of doing together, that we're kind of looking to practice, and we're hoping to do more quests as Nurtured Nerds together, both in person and virtual, to kind of empower ourselves, evolve ourselves, and become more awesome. But the raffle's held about every 2 months, just to let you know. So if you're trying to get in there, go ahead and give us an email again at NurturedNerdNewbies@gmail.com, or reach us on one of those social medias, which right now Facebook is the best one. I love it.
Yeah, cool.
And Nerd Break every weekend.
Nerd Break every weekend, and we've got all of our podcasts up on our YouTube channel.
I love it.
So you can subscribe there.
We danced today at the Nerd Break. We did a little dance.
Ooh, nice.
In honor of today. I was very pumped about it.
Cool. Anything else anybody feels they want to share before we close?
Can I just give a shout out to you guys for being amazing facilitators and interviewers, and I was kind of nervous about this because I've never done this before, and you guys made it just so comfortable and fun and easy, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
That makes me feel so good.
You were fabulous on here, and I hope you come back again. Both of you. Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, echoing Cheri, I know both of you, but also I've done a lot of podcasts before. This has been the smoothest, funnest one I've done in a long time.
Ooh.
I love it.
Yes, and thanks to Grace too for joining us, and thanks to our producer, our Gita, Ghost in the Armor. So he's there behind the scenes right here with us, making it all happen. And yeah, it's really great. So yeah. So good. All right. Are we feeling nurtured? Yes. So good. Woohoo. Time for hugs again. Oh. Thanks you guys for joining us to get nurtured today.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Okay, podcast over.
And face down.
Yeah.